What is up, soccer friends? This is the Kickback Committee. We are glad you're here. I'm your host, Susannah Fuller, and you are in for Tuesday because, no joke, we have assembled the best of the best for today's episode. I'm not even kidding. I'm just so geeked out about our committee today. Joining me is fellow committee member and SoccerWise host, the one and only Tom Bogert, who might be able to get some sleep after yesterday's deadline. We don't know. To be determined. We also have honorary committee member and our very good friend, Matt Doyle, joining us. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Suze. I'm getting bit by my cat right now. Tapito is here.
All is right in the world.
We are here for the cat content. And last but certainly not least, I'm going to get emotional because this is a reunion of epic proportions for me and my bestie, Jillian Sackovits, making her Kickback Committee debut. The call-up reunion that we've been begging for, Jill.
This is
good to see you. It's so good to have you.
This is the moment. On. Yeah, just wait for everybody here for this big moment. Just wait for the guests that we have lined up as a surprise today. It's going to be absolutely fantastic.
They're all cats.
And by that I mean it could be mine, Sue's, or Doyle's cat. Tom, do you have a cat?
I don't. I'm a dog person. I have 2 dogs that are upstairs sleeping.
2 dogs. You sounded very Jersey just then, Tom, which is appropriate because we're going to be talking a lot about your home state.
Buckle up. On a serious note, my absolute honor and privilege to be here with you, but also this group. So thank you for having me. I'm here for the ride.
I love this group so much. I was seriously so geeked out all today, prepping for this and just kind of hey, I get to hang with my favorite soccer people today. What a world, you know? This is work. This is work, guys. But this is going to be so much fun. We have such a fun show today. We are going to be talking all things U.S. men's national team ahead of a couple of friendlies coming up against South Korea and Japan. As I mentioned, our 50 States of Soccer tour continues. New Jersey is this week's focus, and Tom Bogert knows a thing or two about the great state of New Jersey, and I feel like this is the conversation that you've been preparing your entire life for, Tom.
Yeah, as long as it's only the places that I care about and love rather than any rivals or anything from as local goes. And so when any pushback is just wrong, I just have to start off by saying that, and I'm looking forward to it. I embody this every day.
Mm-hmm. I have a feeling you're going to get heckled quite a bit today. Especially by
I think that's every day. I think that's 7 days a week.
When do we do the over 30 men's league circuit? I have my trophy right here.
Oh, congratulations, by the way. For those that don't know, Tom Bogert is also a men's league champion. Yes, it's true. And he was answering group text messages while he was celebrating. So that is.
It was several hours after the game, to be fair.
But I
imagine should probably answer one of these work texts.
A few beverages.
Couple, 2, 3.
Beverages, yeah. So that is dedication, and I appreciate it very much. We all do. So with that, before we dive into all the U.S. men's national team fun, we've got to talk about something that happened over the weekend. The Leagues Cup final. My goodness, what a melee. So on Sunday, the Seattle Sounders took down Inter Miami 3-0 in that Leagues Cup final, which was a very decisive and impressive showing from the Seattle Sounders, who have now won every single domestic trophy, right? So this should be the narrative. This should be what we are talking about. Good on the Sounders, but no, Luis Suarez happened and seemingly spit on the Seattle Sounders Director of Security, Gene Ramirez, during a confrontation following the match. This is obviously not the first time we have seen Luis Suarez pull these type of antics, but Jillian Sackovits was there on the field in person.
What are the odds?
This went.
What
down.
Are the odds?
We have
coming on the show. I'm just trying to hang out. You told me I could drink, and now here I am coming off this big game where Luis Suarez is
Spill the tea.
Some
Jill,
biting
what did you
stuff.
see? Spill the tea. Spill the tea.
I brought a sample with me of saliva. No, I didn't. I wish I did.
Jill's out there collecting forensics. Seen too many episodes of CSI.
No.
I certainly wish I did. So many things went through my mind. Can I tell you the funniest part of this whole thing is that obviously, like, in the scrum and the 40 people, also just, I have to say, Susannah Collins, I know you have been there for some instant classics in Seattle.
Oh, yes.
This was vintage classic Seattle. Like, it felt good. This was MLS. So that is all the positives. Now, when this chaos was happening, I was just zoning in on Brian Schmetzer. I'm like, you are my post-game interview. I'm not losing you for a second. But then Brian Schmetzer starts to run away from me, which is there's many coaches who will run away from me. This is very un-Brian Schmetzer-ish. He is class act. And I'm like, damn it, Brian. And then I start to notice that he's over by Messi. And I'm like, oh, are we about to get like a Bruce Arena in San Jose moment again? Like where Brian, and Leo kind of stayed out of it. You know, he's just standing there like this. People are like trying to swap jerseys with him, talk to him. Pedro de la Vega, Obed Vargas, I think, is over there. And then I see the chaos happening. And the funniest part about it is some of the Sounders are oblivious. They got their hands up, they're praying, they're on the field. And it's like these two parallels happening, that Miami is just being the villains. And the spitting thing, obviously, I saw it on social media like after the fact, like moments later, because in the moment I had no idea that Luis Suarez pulled what's the word when you can't say someone did something?
Allegedly?
Allegedly, yes.
I'm
going to put my reporter hat on.
Jill, I was going to say, Jill, you're being very professional.
Allegedly,
and I was writing something about it today, and I started to say that, and then you can see it in the video.
It's on his hat.
Like,
yeah,
I think we can drop allegedly at this point. Like, that is the right, like, instinct for you, but like we've moved past allegedly on this.
So I have so many questions, and this is like obviously for everybody to answer, but like, how long is he suspended? Is it fair to say, could this be the end of Suarez in MLS? We've seen guys across sports come back from things like this, including, you know, Charles Barkley, who infamously spit on a fan, and soccer players have spit towards people. But this was just so close. I think that's the thing about it. It's not like spitting in the direction of someone. If it did happen, he's spitting like 2 seconds from this poor guy's hat. And like, go pick on someone your own size, Luis Suarez. And then like, lastly is like, are we here for villains in MLS? Like, we've talked about it forever. Like, MLS needs bad boys. They need villains. I didn't think it'd be like the really rich former Barca players that decide to like be the villains, like the Pistons. This is giving me like Detroit people. Yeah, this is giving me like Detroit Pistons vibe. So I don't know. I know that act is simply unacceptable. Unacceptable. But that's my recap. There you have it.
Brian Vera last year, I think he spit on Michael Boxall. Was it at or on? I don't remember.
I'm shocked that he lived to tell the story, but
I wouldn't mess with Boxy.
That was 3 games. But that was also
Mason Toy a few years ago was 2 total games, and it wasn't as direct as Suarez as was.
That's the point. I
had forgotten the Mason Toy thing. Wow.
Yeah,
I mean, no, like the Suarez one was crazy because he goes up, like, first of all, after the whistle, he runs directly at Obed Vargas, who had been giving it to him all game long, and there were some like kind of nasty words exchanged, I think, between Messi and Pedro de la Vega as well. Like it was
Messi
chippy.
was frustrated. I'll tell you guys, even in the first half, the one thing, and you could see on the broadcast that I could see very much so, is like, they were frustrating the shit. They were frustrating the crap out of him.
We can work blue. We can work blue on this show. Come on,
what was the likelihood that Jill cursed before me or Doyle? That is shocking.
It was shocking. Off the fucking charts.
The frustration levels were high, like in minute 30. So by the time 90 plus came around, it was a wild scene.
So, and Doyle, that was the first place I wanted to go too. There are a lot of adjectives. All of them are negative. The one that comes to mind for me is cowardice. So you just spent 90 minutes getting completely waxed. Like, you had a couple chances when you're down 1-0, but Seattle 3-0 was a very correct scoreline given the tenor of that game. And then the referee blows his whistle, they start celebrating, and you run over to a 20-year-old who, as you said, Doyle, bossed that entire game. And, like, having to be restrained from him because you're just jawing in his face. That's when you decide to show fight. Like, it's just so weak. It's so cowardice.
I don't know, man. Like,
this is... Hold on. So is Busquets coming over...
That second half... Right, from the start of the second half to about the 80th minute, that was Miami's game. They had 2
congratulations. They passed the ball sideways a bunch.
No,
yeah,
for
they
sure,
missed a couple chances.
You're absolutely correct. They missed their chances. They deserve the loss. But like to say this was a one-sided game, that 3-0 was completely reflective, and that Miami didn't show fight. They absolutely showed fight. They just didn't have their finishing boots on, and then Seattle punished them.
Okay, you quibble
I'm
with
just
whether or
tired
not
of your lies, Tom.
My
Bogert.
point is, the whistle blows, and then you go over to a 20-year-old and just put your hand all over, like screaming at him to the point where a teammate had to like physically remove his hand, and then Busquets comes over and. Look, if you're gonna punch somebody, swing, dude. Like that was also like cowardice too. It's just that's the stuff that rubs me the wrong way. Like they was that the most ground that Busquets covered in that game, going over to come in on the side of Obed.
Sick burn, Tom.
It's just
Bogert.
it's just such coward nonsense, man. Like show fight in the 90 minutes. Like
okay, so. With all this, taking all of this into account right now, I know how I feel about Inter Miami at the moment. And like Doyle, I had spoken to you a few weeks ago about how like the whole like Messi magic is kind of like dying for me. Like how unlikable right now is this Inter Miami team? Because for me, I'm just kind of like, ew. Like they are kind of like the baddies, the villains.
Oh, they're the bad
MLS
boys right now. Well said, Sus. They're the
I'm
bad boys.
gonna zag. I love it.
Ooh.
I think it's great. We've all sat through too many DPs who come to this league, whether they're 27 or 37 years old, and don't give a single shit. We've all seen it. Tom's favorite player of all time, Steven Gerrard, was an absolute disgrace in MLS, and
Watch
I would
it, Doyle.
rather see guys who go out there and care every week, maybe a little bit too much, in this case, definitely a little bit too much, and lose their minds from time to time, than guys who are completely indifferent. And we saw it with Pirlo, we saw it with Lampard, we saw it with Gerrard, we saw it with too many players going back all the way. I'll say Lothar Matthäus, the worst signing in MLS history, caused me multiple sleepless nights and cost the Red or Metro Stars multiple years. Gave me these gray hairs and this bald head. Like I
Oh wow!
I think it's
I didn't know he
awesome.
did so much to you.
It's more than he did for the Metro Stars. I think it's awesome. I think he'll get suspended. Suarez
Dude,
will, and probably Busquets.
Spitting though, like
Yeah, it's gross.
like that is nasty. That is, to me, like spitting on somebody is the ultimate sign of like I'd rather be punched in the face,
100%.
like than
You ever been
spat
punched in the
on.
face, Suze? You ever been punched? Because I've been punched in the face a few times, and I'll tell you, I would rather be
accidentally.
spat on.
What's the number one reason, Doyle, that someone punched you in the face? Was it over a girl?
It was every single time. It was me being a drunk asshole, and I deserved it
My God,
every single
that's
time.
like so admirable of you. I don't know if I got
I'm
punched
almost
in the face
50.
if
I
admit it
can't
was my
lie to
fault.
myself about it anymore. Like, this is why-
Self-awareness. Is
I gotta agree with Doyle. I gotta agree. Like the spitting part, I think is deplorable. As a human being, I wouldn't advise like my kids to do it. But
it's good.
I like some villain behavior. I like some bad boys. MLS needs it. You know, these guys are also nice to each other. Now, does Inter Miami look like sore losers? Yeah, but I don't hate some bad boy villain behavior. And that combined with Di Rosario just being like, I want to be the man. I was like, this is what it's supposed to be like. This is sports. But yeah, I'm not condoning it, but I think it's nice to see how much people care.
In terms of potential retributions, first of all, I got a statement from a Leagues Cup spokesperson that said the Leagues Cup organizing committee is still reviewing the incident and will act accordingly. There's going to be a lot from them, but like, guess what? Leagues Cup doesn't resume until 2026.
Yeah.
What does that matter to Suarez and Busquets? So I made a few calls today, and like, I didn't get any definitive answers on it. First of all, it was, we have to respect the process of the Leagues Cup organizing committee. They have to go through their recommendations and everything, and then they put out their stuff, and then more or less the league could decide. And in the past, Mike Petke, I didn't even remember the Leagues Cup had started in 2019. In 2019, in a Leagues Cup match against Tigres, he berated the ref and got a 3-game Leagues Cup suspension, and then MLS added another 3 games on top of that before RSL ended up just terminating his contract when that suspension was finished. And then another big named one was in 2015 when Clint Dempsey took the referee's notebook out of his hand and ripped it up and got the red card. So he got,
Kind of
I don't
epic.
know, 1,000-game suspension in the Open Cup and probably
He's still
charged with a crime.
suspended. Yeah, he's still suspended.
MLS added another 3-game suspension in league play. And then if you look at if you look at the CBA, and this is courtesy because I did do this. Our friend Tim Hotze, he dug up in the rule book that MLS does have jurisdiction. They can punish players for what they do in the Leagues Cup or the Open Cup or whatever in MLS.
Okay.
And they really should in this scenario. It is my strong feeling, because with Suarez and Busquets, we don't know. They might come back. They might not. To suspend them for the 2026 Leagues Cup and then like maybe both of them retire in December, not a good look.
Not the best look at all. I definitely think that they're going to have to kind of really come down hard on Suarez for this. It's just like to use Jill's word, it's deplorable. It's deplorable, but
disgusting.
I'm also the sort of like vitriol that I'm feeling right now for the whole situation for Inter Miami. It could be a good thing. To Doyle's point, like it's like, okay, maybe it's good to hate a team, you know? Like it's
Didn't people already hate this team though?
Oh, but now there's no one even close to.
Yeah.
To there's nobody even like close to on the fence.
There's levels to the hate. Like, remember how much more you hated the Boston Celtics when they won the championship a year and a half ago, Tom? Do you remember that?
What happened this
week? Like, I've never gotten to that place with the New York Knicks. Say.
Not even when we were eliminating you from the playoffs this season? And ending what you were talking dynasty.
Didn't matter. No, it's not ended. It's just on pause for a year. We'll be back. Yeah. It's fine.
This is fun.
Can I just add one note to cap off this conversation?
About the Knicks?
I'd love to talk about the Knicks. I think the thing that should be making fans feel like that Inter Miami is not going to get the pass if it had been, for example, Paul Rothrock who spit at somebody, is the fact that I think that the league made a little bit of a statement when they did suspend Messi for not showing up to All-Star. I think that said a little something. We'll see how much they want to pull the hammer down, because, I mean, the Bex was walking around. So I think that adds some bonus points to Inter Miami's resume right now.
Moral of the story, spitting is gross, and Luis Suarez is an unhinged individual. I think we can all agree. Yes, there we go. Those are my takeaways. All right, guys, let's move it along to some U.S. men's national team talk, shall we? Camp currently underway in New Jersey, P.S., ahead of 2 upcoming friendlies against South Korea and Japan. It's been a pretty busy summer for some of the guys in our national team player pool. We've had some big transfer moves. Yunus Musa to Atalanta, happening kind of at the close of the transfer window. Also, Benjamin Kramaski is apparently on loan at Parma, which I only found out about a few hours ago. So there were a lot of moving and shaking even as the deadline was closing. But I want to kind of go through a few of these moves, and I want you guys to kind of talk about the ones that you think are the best, like your favorite move of the transfer window for these U.S. men's national team players, and your least favorite. So best and worst transfer move. And Tom, since you're the man who basically lived and breathed this for the last God knows how long, we'll let you kick it off.
Yeah, there's my feelings have already changed on several of these moves. So, like, if we were talking about this 4 weeks ago, I think Malik Tillman was the one that I really, really liked. Going to Bayer Leverkusen in a team where he's essentially the Florian Wirtz replacement and going to get to be the man at a really good team in the Bundesliga. And then that move took a little while. Then he wasn't quite in training. And then he was held out of games because his fitness allegedly wasn't there, whatever Erik ten Hag was saying. And now Erik ten Hag, after 3 games, has been removed from the team because the vibes were that bad. Yeah. So maybe if they get a normal manager, it would be Malik Tillman. And the kind of same thing goes with Johnny Cardoso. Like, I really like him going to Diego Simeone and Atletico Madrid. And he started their first league. I think that I'm going to end up with Johnny Cardoso here for the best, though. You know, we'll see what happens with the managerial situation at Leverkusen with Malik Tillman.
Doyle, you were very I don't know, kind of doubtful about this move for Leverkusen and Malik Tillman. When we spoke a couple weeks ago, you were kind of like, I don't know if he can be the guy. He has scored a goal. I know they are not off to a great start, obviously. Ten Hag paying the price for that. But have you changed your tune at all about the Tillman Leverkusen?
They changed his name from Eric Ten Hag to Eric 3 Games. So that's number one. No, I've not changed my tune on Tillman. I think he's like a $4 or $5 million player. I don't think he's a $35 million player. And it's unfair to judge him at this point, I think, just because it was such a disaster, his preseason and the way they've come out so far in this Bundesliga season. He's going to be on the national team either way. I've just never seen anything from him that suggests like he's the guy who could run the show at a really high level, either in the Bundesliga or for the national team. And maybe we'll get, he's going to play probably 180 minutes between these two games. So hopefully we'll get to see some of that. But no, it's the other number 10 in, not that Tillman's really a number 10, but it's the other number 10 in the Bundesliga. It's the fact that Gio Reyna finally got a move away from Borussia Dortmund's medical team that has me really pumped because they notoriously have like the worst training staff in all of Europe. And he obviously has the worst hamstrings in all of Europe. So it's been a pretty unhappy mix. God, I hope this kid gets healthy and can play and be 80% of what he's looked like if he's even 80% of what he looked like in his best moments with the U.S., in the midst of all these injuries over the past 5 years, then that's a guy who is a written-in pen starter for this team. And I honestly believe at this point, he's the only one in the pool who's a real ceiling raiser. Like, he's the one who can actually get on the ball and run the show against big teams in big moments if he's healthy. And I think and hope, and maybe I'm wish casting a little bit, that he will be healthier for Mönchengladbach than he has been for Dortmund since he first did his hamstring. But I think it was 21 or was it 20 when he did his hamstring? Either way, it's like 4 or 5 years of this now. It's brutal.
Real brutal. Are you happy that he's staying in Bundesliga? Because there's a part of me that thought maybe his game would have fared better. I think the way he plays, I was like, oh, Serie A seems like a great spot for him. La Liga even. But do you think staying in Bundesliga is a place where he can evolve as a player, even though right now we know the important thing for him is staying healthy and getting minutes?
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought that Serie A would have been maybe a better place. That said, it's not like it was Parma who it's not like I watch a lot of Parma. I can't tell you exactly how they play or anything. Like, they could be a high pressing team for all I know. But just like in general, the Bundesliga is a more attritional league. Like, there's more running, there's more work against the ball. And if you watch Gio, man, he has not been confident sprinting for like 2 years at this point. And that is going to be a huge hurdle for him to take. Maybe the Bundesliga wasn't like staying in the Bundesliga wasn't the right spot for him to try to take it. But I think he was out of options. I don't think there were any, it's not like there was a bidding war for him. So let's just all keep our fingers crossed, right? That he has some good injury luck and good fitness and gets back into Pochettino's good graces, because I don't think we've talked about that, which maybe we should, and that we get to see him again in the next camp or maybe November's.
Yeah, and maybe a change of scenery is good. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe that can be the thing that can sort of turn this around for him.
I think that's the key, Suze. I think that's the key for Gio Reyna is I think there has to be, when players talk about, oh, this move to blah, 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 where I didn't speak the language. That's not the case with Gio. It's staying in Germany. But that sometimes a change of scenery of any level was like what they needed to mature in the next way. I think with Gio, it's like we know he has the skill. We know that he could be hopefully the best team, one of the best players that this U.S. men's national team has. But I think he needs like the next level of like his own like personal development, because he has the skill, and like Doyle, like you said, he's got to get healthy. But I think he's come across at times as so privileged and maybe a little like arrogant and comfortable that I think this humbling
Maybe a
now,
little. Maybe just a little.
this humble, but a change of scenery sometimes is like, I don't know, maybe it's like figuring out his new apartment or whatever it is. Like, he's got to kind of take that next step of maturity. And maybe it's a new team. I would have loved for it, though, to be a new league, to be like, go be really uncomfortable and go grow up a little bit. Kind of like when we all study abroad. Maybe it's simplifying it, but
I was
you know
very
what I
comfortable
mean.
when I did that.
Yeah, maybe that's why I kept getting hit in the face, because I never studied abroad.
You know what Gio Reyna could use? No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, maybe just a punch in the face. Maybe that is what Gio needs.
You know what I mean? Like,
No,
go
I
be
get it. I
uncomfortable
totally get
a little
it.
bit.
I totally get it.
Yes, of course, healthy medicalness, medical clearance is important. But he has the skill, and I just think he needs to be like the next level of an adult.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that there were times over the last, I would say 3 years that Gio Reyna would be out on the field, and I would argue that he was the most important player for the U.S. men's national team when he was fit, when he was healthy, when, he was confident. And to have this sort of, I don't know, I don't want to say fall from grace, but it kind of is for Gio, certainly in terms of his value with the U.S. men's national team and where Pochettino sort of sees him fitting in. This is absolutely necessary. And I think that we can all agree that the U.S. men's national team would benefit from a Gio Reyna that's clicking on all cylinders. So
He's the best big game player the U.S. national team has ever had. And I was looking through his numbers. I don't have them directly in front of me, but I think he's played in 5 finals for the U.S. and he has 2 goals and 3 assists. So he averages 1 goal contribution per final that he's in. As just comparing it to Clint Dempsey and Landon Donovan, consensus 2 best field players that we've ever had. I think between them they played 11 finals, and they had 6 combined goals and assists. So Gio has almost equaled the total goal contributions of Donovan and Dempsey, and he's 22 and has been hurt for most of his life at this point. So get this guy healthy, change of scenery. I wish it was a change of league. I'm with you guys. But, let's get him on the field. And he doesn't even have to be, I'm not talking 3,500 minutes across all competitions this year for Borussia Mönchengladbach. If he plays 1,500, 1,800, I want to see him with the U.S.
Okay, so what are some of the moves that we haven't particularly liked for the U.S. men's national team player pool? Tom, is there anything that kind of sticks out?
Jill rose her hand. I think that you should go ahead of me.
I don't think I should ever go ahead of you.
No,
100%.
I'm just overzealous over here. First day of school, by the way.
I didn't have a good
New York
answer
State.
anyway.
Mine is just happy to be here. I have one answer. So mine is not that I don't like it. I love the sound of it. I love it for him because he was very open that this is what he wanted. But in terms of, we're using a USMNT lens today, right?
Yes.
In terms of my USMNT glasses, it makes me nervous. Am I gonna throw up? And that's Patrick Agyemang. Not that I love that it was a record fee for Charlotte, banging in 22 goals over 70 games for Charlotte. I love everything that Big Pat did for Charlotte, but he left a team that's right now 3rd in the East, and going to the championship where we see it going well for USMNT strikers, them doing well in league play, but it has to go well for Big Pat over the next 10 months. And that's the part about it that just makes me nervous when I put on my USMNT glasses. For his career, I love that he went to Europe. He's a great guy. I've loved when I've interviewed him. I love this move for him, but this has to work right away for us, our US hearts. That's my take.
It's unfortunate that he's currently out with a hernia surgery. He has not made his debut for Derby County, and that's obviously out of his control. So it's not off to the best start I think he's going to fit really well in the championship, just his style of play. And again, whether or not Derby County is going to be high enough up the table, but like going to a league that now has Sargent, Damian Downs, Haji Wright, like it's going to be pretty clear of like, yeah, there are nuances and context clues to every situation, every team. But as close as you can get is all four of us play in the same league. Who's going to play the best?
I agree.
And that's my least favorite move is that Josh Sargent is still in that league because we've seen him for the past
that
4
didn't
years.
happen is your least favorite thing.
Yeah. And look, I understand like he and his family are apparently very happy in Norwich, which have you ever been to the east of England? Like that's pretty grim, man. We've seen this guy, he's clearly a top 2 or 3 striker in the championship for the past couple of years. I thought he was going to get a $20 million move to Serie A or Ligue 1 or La Liga, and I would have loved to see him in any back to the Bundesliga. I would have loved to see him in any of those spots more than just another year of being really good in the championship. I'm bummed about it. I hope it ends up not mattering because I still think he's the most talented player, most talented number 9 in the pool. And I hope that he finally breaks his 6-year goalless drought for the national team and gets a couple this weekend. But like I wish that I wish I was watching him play with Atalanta or back to the Bundesliga again. Eintracht Frankfurt, their latest number 9 off their assembly line that they do so well with every year. Something like that would have been so much better than another year.
Can I ask you a quick question, Doyle, about that?
Mm-hmm.
You know what it kind of comes to mind, and this is no knock on him, it's truly like one of my favorite humans in MLS, and I think that in the long run it's worked out really well for him also, despite an injury in this very moment, is remember back in the day when like Jordan Morris had, before he got hurt and then didn't make the move, but the potential move prior to that didn't go to Europe because he liked life in Seattle, and like I think the criticism was like he wanted to stay back with like his family and his dog. That's kind of the vibe. I'm not trying to be funny. I think that's like what people were saying. He was much younger there then, but that's kind of like what I get like a little PTSD from.
Yeah, I think that is actually a pretty good comparison. And yeah, I don't know. Like Jordan Morris had a pretty good national team career, better than Josh Sargent so far, certainly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but
it worked out.
Yeah. But
So
maybe it didn't work out as well as it could have. And we're getting to that point with Josh Sargent. Like if he doesn't show it this weekend, we might not see him again until the next cycle.
So you guys don't agree with me with Ajiman at all? Like everyone just feels like he'll do great. Like love the coach, love his teammates.
Money was part of it.
It was a great fit for Charlotte.
Gio, but like Gio, you're like, I understand all of this, but taking away just like the next 9 months. The problem is he was making like $80,000, and that wasn't changing. Like contract talks had not advanced in any way. They hadn't even resumed because his camp and Charlotte were in a really bad place in terms of relationship. They were not close. He wasn't getting a new contract in Charlotte unless he took whatever their offer was. So again, he's more than tenfold increased his contract at Derby County.
The guy told me on This Is MLS that his biggest purchase, I said, like, what'd you make with your first big paycheck? And he said, like, a PS5. And I thought he was going to be like that kind of sums it up, right?
Precious.
Like, ain't nobody got to talk about PS5 anymore. Aww. So he's getting paid.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm like a little mama seeing him just, like, spread his wings out there.
we want our MLS boys to succeed and do well. It's only natural. Speaking of MLS, though, I'm very curious to get your guys' take on a couple of the moves. So Paxton Aronson making the move to Colorado, and then also Matt Turner after that whole kind of debacle with Lyon, signing back with New England Revolution. And I want to ask you this in the context based on what we heard Mauricio Pochettino say a couple weeks ago about sort of the level of competition in MLS, and that it's he doesn't see it as less than Europe. He said quite the opposite, that he actually thinks that the competition in MLS is better in some regards. So keeping that in mind, do we like these moves for these players, for a Matt Turner and for a Paxton Aronson who is young? And also considering like our whole goalkeeper situation right now for the U.S., which is precarious to say the least. Like, how do we feel? How do we feel about these players moving back to Major League Soccer?
On Turner, that was a no-brainer that they were able to get it done. Again, the way the story goes is that John Textor went rogue and just agreed a deal to sign him when he was at Lyon, and then when he was kind of asked to step away, everybody else at the club was like, well, we could consult on this deal. They tried to cancel it, and then when they couldn't cancel it, they were like, fine, we'll spend the $8 million fee and immediately loan him to New England, and we'll cover some of his salary. So Turner getting out of somewhere that very clearly didn't want him in any way, that's a no-brainer for me, and hopefully he, like, again, when he's in MLS, his like shot stopping has been literally historic. And Doyle has better analysis on this about like maybe his brain got broke a little bit from too much trying to play out of the back. Come back here, stop, do what you're elite at.
Some soccer players just are not meant to complete a pass. Isn't that right, Tom? Isn't that right?
I'm gonna say that's my kind of. That's maybe who I was as a soccer player.
I got that feedback from somebody on our list that we're going to be talking about later in the New Jersey five-a-side team. But so yeah, the Turner one, that's obvious. In terms of Paxton Aronson, look, he had options. Southampton came in late, but Salzburg recording him really hard, and Salzburg is where his older brother played, Brendan. It worked out perfectly for Brendan Aronson. He wanted to forge his own path. He was nominated for Young Player of the Year in the Eredivisie. He could have gone to the championship and done what Brendan was doing in the championship and then in the Premier League, or he could go to Colorado and be the guy where, like, yes, you have to fight for your place every week if you're at Southampton, and at Salzburg you get to play Champions League for whatever. When you get eliminated from the Champions League, this is no disrespect for the Austrian Bundesliga. It's like going to Celtic. It's like going to Celtic or Rangers. There are no games of consequence.
You're playing next pro level teams for 3/4 of your season.
So I've never, like, again, I get it, and like, dude, I could have a 90% completion rate if I was playing center back for Celtic against whoever in most of their games, right? Like, so I don't think that's quite the same challenge. Championship, you can absolutely say, but the argument for Paxton Aronson is, yes, you have to fight every day in training to retain your spot, to stay in the team, to do everything else. Like, particularly, like, Southampton is a team that has a lot of money in the championship because they're often in the Premier League, so it's difficult. I really like that move for Damian Downs, but Paxton Aronson goes to Colorado, where, yeah, like, if you're at Southampton and you don't play well, you're just benched and you don't get minutes. If you're at Colorado and you don't play well, the team is going to stink. The attack is going to revolve around you. It's a different level of pressure. And again, to defer to Doyle on this one, like, Doyle brought this up like years ago about, like, hey, look at the best players in the national team pool right now. How many of them does it truly matter, like, in a big way, if they play well or play poorly? It's like Pulisic at Milan, yes. And then how far down do you have to go to find the next guy? And, like, Aronson is in that situation now. If he does not play well, the Colorado attack will not be good.
Ain't nobody want to be part of a bad Colorado team. It's a scary place. There's something about it when Colorado's bad. It just feels bad, right?
Bad.
So
bad.
So I just agree across the board with what Tom said. Because
I quoted you and
correct.
in both of you.
No, but the big thing is it's a different kind of pressure. Like, if he has a bad game, Colorado is going to lose. Like, that there are not many other guys in the player pool who can say that, including Brendan. I frankly don't think Brendan is a better player than he was 3 years ago. Now, there's no guarantee he would be if he had, say, come back to Philadelphia and been their number 10, right? Like, maybe he would still just be the same guy. But all he does for Leeds is run. That's it. Like, he has not improved as a soccer player, and he needed to improve the soccer player part of his game, not the running part of his game. And Paxton chose a path where he's going to improve, or going to have to improve, the soccer player part of his game, and he's shown it in 2 games. Like, I've never been a big Paxton Aronson guy, but he was awesome. Now, granted, just against Sporting Kansas City, so, you know. But, like, he was awesome in that game. He created chances left and right. He was burning dudes off the dribble. It was a really strong showing. And with the things that Pochettino has said and the call-ups that he has made over his year plus in charge, he clearly thinks if you're doing it in MLS, you're good enough to come in and try to do it for the national team. So it's a clear path to the World Cup. It's a clear path to bigger responsibilities. And the kid obviously thinks it's a clear path to improving the parts of his game that he needs to improve.
Love it. All right. Hey, Doyle, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what Rizz is?
So I'm very old, but I am also very online.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Be online.
Yes,
Very online.
yes.
Even that's
I have
funny.
never.
I don't know why.
This might be the first. This might be the first time I will ever say the word Rizz. I think that was it right
That's
there.
the better question. Yeah.
And this is certainly going to be the first time I will be judging how much Rizz someone has. So
Can
we
I
are
say-
breaking new ground.
I know, and Doyle, like the whole reason I wanted to do this was just to make you uncomfortable and say Rizz. I'm not even kidding. I just thought, but
Here
to be
for
fair,
it.
when I messaged everybody in the group chat, Jill was like, "Wait, is Rizz what the kids are calling it these days?" She was like, "I actually need to like make sure I know."
I just
what
wanted
we're
to make sure
talking about."
Rizz is what I would call cool, right? Like I'm
Yes.
I'm on the right track here. That's all I wanted to check.
Definitely. So for those that might not be in the know, and this is mostly for my mother who will listen and be like, I don't know what Rizz is. Shouts to Susan. Rizz is short for charisma, so it's like Rizz,
Shut
and it
the
can
heck
mean
up. That's
like
where it comes from?
swagger.
Why didn't you tell me that?
Moxie, Rizz. So that's what we're talking
Okay,
about. So we're talking
all
about
right.
Rizz.
All right, so when I thought we were talking about kind of like, I think you told me the translation was swagger, and I was like, okay, got it. Now when we're talking about charisma, some of my choices are going to make us laugh because it's just great. Okay, I'm still here for this.
So we're gonna do some Rizz.
Okay, let me get my Rizz notes. It's on a whole
Rizz,
nother
Rizz
screen.
ratings. Rizz
I'm
ratings.
taking this very seriously.
This is a whole new thing. It's gonna sweep the nation, I swear.
Okay.
Rizz ratings on our U.S. men's national team players, specifically this player pool who's in camp right now, guys who are entering into these friendlies oozing with Rizz. And so who do we think right now? Because I have, there's like a list of maybe 3 or 4 guys that I think are sort of at the top of this Rizz rating meter right now who are entering in just in really good form. But curious to source you guys and see how you're feeling. Who's rating high on your Rizz scale? Jill, I feel like you're dying to tell us.
Dying, because mine's more like a Rizz stream of consciousness. It has some kind of low blows, but also some highs, I'd say. So I'm just gonna like run through this. So Rizz, I would say Max Arfstad comes in with a decent amount of Rizz, particularly after the departure of Olivier Giroud. For me now, he has the best hair in Major League Soccer, and I think that gives you some Rizz. Tristan Blackman as well comes in with some Rizz, and this is all thanks to Thomas Mueller, because what Thomas Mueller did in the Vancouver press conference by announcing him coming to U.S. camp, that to me is Rizz.
Jill is absolutely crushing it. I feel like
All
back
over
on
it.
the
Solo,
call.
go solo.
This is amazing.
Serginho Dest.
Clear out.
I don't say he has Rizz all the time, but the image that I have forever is him sitting in the Lionel Messi press conference in a Michael Jordan jersey, straight off the beach. And for me, that gives you probably like Rizz for life, right?
Jill, that's a guy. So his middle name might be Rizz. Like, I don't care what form he's in. It's like he's gonna show up, do a couple skill moves, and probably put the compilation on social media and of like his all touches or whatever. Like this guy, I don't care if he just played a 4 out of 10 in his last game. It's always gonna be him because he steps on the field and is like, yeah, I'm that guy. So for me, it's this.
Freeman, I'd say I just saw this Di Rosario. It's like, you guys don't want to be compared to their dads, but like, hey, if you say things like, I want to win a championship like my dad did, and like Freeman won a Super Bowl, it's like, I want Freeman to get his daddy's Rizz and be all about that. So I have that. Christian Pulisic is my winner of no Rizz. Yeah, and Zendejas, I don't know if you caught him. He was great with me at the skills challenge, but then I talked to him pregame for All-Star, and I said something around the lines of like, you are wearing the number 10 now for Club America. Like, talk to me, Zendejas. And The interview just left me wanting more. So for that, he enters camp without any Rizz. And that is my Rizz. That's my Rizz takes.
Wow. Jill just put up like a 30-point triple-double right there.
I know. That was just like...
In 9
You
minutes
wanna
off
know
the
what's
bench
sad?
there.
I borderline don't
We're
know
still
what
in the
Rizz
first quarter.
means.
We're still
And
in
this
the
took
first
me...
quarter.
This was just like things I dream about without even knowing what Rizz meant. So there you go. Happy to contribute today.
I mean, I don't know
I
where
have
we go
retired
from
from
here
the
because that was outstanding.
Oh, there's lots of people we still...
Doyle, where are your
about.
notes?
I just keep them all up here, especially when it comes to Rizz.
Rizz is the only thing I took notes on today.
The two that I had like chambered were Max Arston, his obvious Rizz, but is like, am I just confusing good hair with Rizz? Right?
It's easy.
So,
It's easily done.
especially
Doyle.
when you have this handicap that I have.
One goes with the other.
Right. And then the other one was the Dest point. Dest, I think, if we were to distill Rizz down to its purest essence, he's maybe the only player in the actual pool who has Rizz. Such a good call on Pulisic being the anti-Rizz. Simply does not have it. Tim Weah, I feel like used to have it. Then he called people who mildly criticized the national team evil, and to me, that was a Rizzless move. So I think Tim Weah is probably on Rizz probation.
Rizzless. I covered...
You so Rizzless.
I covered the U.S. national team with ESPN in 2022-ish. And I would say Weah then had the Rizz. Like, when they entered the locker room, he was the one with the giant wireless speaker, now that I'm thinking about it. But I haven't seen that in a minute.
That is a good note for this category. That is a great note for this category.
Yeah, but it's been too long, and you
yeah.
acted really soft, so you're going down to the CP level. I'm sorry.
That's I'm glad you pointed that out, Jill. Wait, I feel like we're one that we haven't mentioned that I think is quite obvious is Chris Richards. Yeah. Chris Richards has some Rizz, guys.
The only problem is the way that Crystal
Can
Palace...
center backs have Rizz?
And the way that Crystal Palace plays...
Rizz.
Thank you.
Virgil van Dijk is like Rizz personified. So yes, Doyle.
Yeah,
yes.
that's fair.
I think Chris Richards has... do you know what I've seen from him? It's like this Rizz evolvement. Like, he has kind of like... He's like the guy at Crystal Palace. He is the anchor of that back line. He's winning trophies with his team. He's starting every game. The afro, like, it's incredible. It's impeccable. I feel like this guy is like coming into his own. I feel like he's going to be very, very important for the U.S. as well.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think Pochettino rates him incredibly high. And so I feel like this man is like entering into his like ultimate Rizz phase, if you will. His Rizz era. The Chris Richards Rizz era.
I love this from you.
I still see a center back. That's it.
What have you got against center backs, Doyle?
Nothing, but like it's not charisma.
You know
if charisma, you'd be an attacking
Tom, do you
midfielder.
think center backs have Rizz?
Yes, and again, your Van Dyke point was a good one. And,
What
and
about
Chris
Dest?
Richards
Exception that proves the rule, maybe.
We're talking
Yeah,
about
and
defenders.
what I think about it's Crystal Palace playing with 35% possession and defending like hell. That doesn't do it for me.
That's
Guys, we're not
fine.
talking about the field, okay? Like, this has really very little to do with what you do.
He's
on.
contributing a lot on a Premier League team. He's an important player. He's an important player for the U.S. I just think that this guy is, it's happening.
Let me put a potentially controversial subject out there. Diego Luna at one point maybe led the team in Rizz, but I feel like he's leaned into #dad life so much that the dadness has removed some of the Rizz.
Weeby's about to appear.
Weeby should really, Weeby should really, like, he's gonna come in like the Kool-Aid man into this segment right here.
Here's my thing on Diego Luna. He was in my notes, but like didn't make like top 5 takes that I felt very strongly about. The neck tattoos. But like we now have to see the broken nose moment. We have to see something else from Diego Luna for him to get that Rizz back. Like we've talked about
the
it
goal
enough.
celebration. The goal celebration.
The mustache.
That's it.
Does that?
Yeah, the mustache is good.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
it's
agree.
just he hasn't scored a goal in 2 damn months, so that could be. That could be part of the
That
problem.
ups your Rizz factor.
Mustache
Sprinkles.
doesn't do it for me.
Well, guys, I'm really pleased with this segment, and I think y'all knocked it out of the park. I feel like we're gonna revisit this.
You brought in a ringer with Jill. That was the thing.
The brains of the operation was Sue. She came up with the segment. You know,
Listen,
we just did our homework.
I just
tried to show.
I just put it out there and let you guys soar and fly. And I'm like a proud mama bear over here. Y'all did great. Okay, let's quickly before we dive into some other stuff. I would like to kind of collectively look at the ideal starting 11 that we would like to see Mauricio Pochettino put out against South Korea on Saturday. So based on this player pool, I feel like there are some players that are just like automatic, like yes, but I'm curious to see like who you think it's a start up top. Like what does the midfield look like? But let's start with keeper. Let's start with keeper.
Matt Freese.
Matt Freese?
Yeah.
Anyone? Any objections?
Close. No, this is the easiest one.
Okay, Matt Freese locked in. Backline. What are we hoping for? For me, I feel like it's Richards and Ream. Mm-hmm. And then
I would like to see Noah Kai Banks. Honestly.
Okay.
I don't think it'll happen, but it'd be cool to see him next to Richards.
You would like to see him paired up with Richards.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the fullbacks?
So I got two schools of thought on this one. Serginho Dest is our best right back. He is healthy for the first time in a year. I think we missed him badly for a lot of that time, and it would be a very easy thing to see him return, slot in at right back, play Max Arston at left back. I thought Arston was passable at the Gold Cup. I thought Alex Freeman was much more than passable. I thought he was really, really good. So you could also just slot Alex Freeman in at right back and then have Serginho Dest play left back.
True.
Because I think that is something we'll be seeing from the national team in fits and starts over the next year and maybe even over the next cycle. I mean, I would lean towards splitting that 50-50. Give me one game with Dest and Arston, Dest on the right, Arston on the left. Give me one game with Freeman on the right and Dest on the left, because I think that is going to be a valuable club to play. As for center back, I haven't seen enough of Noah Banks. He was dominant in age group stuff. Obviously hasn't played a ton in the Bundesliga. Tristan Blackman's been so good this year. And has done it in continental competition as well. And he's actually a much better passer of the ball than I initially gave him credit for. If you look at his underlying numbers, his ability to move that Vancouver attack upfield into like really high leverage spots, like I think Poch was right to call him in. I really hope he gets at least 90 minutes in these games because he's got the size, he's got the physicality, he's certainly got the speed, and I think he's good enough on the ball now too. So like let's see Tristan Blackman get out there. I think we could learn a lot in this camp about his chances.
I agree, and not to get too stuck into like these minute details. There's been a number of players in these camps under Poch that I was, in that vein of I hope we see him. Like if you called him in, like I don't know, Brian White barely played at the Gold Cup. Like there have been other players that I'd be like, oh, I hope to see him get a decent run out, and then they just don't at all. I'm afraid that's going to happen to Tristan Blackman at this camp, but we'll see.
I love that. Okay, moving along to midfield. How do we see this shaping up?
Obvious one that I think of for at least the first game in New Jersey, and this is more like a pulling at your heartstrings, is you got to see like the return of Tyler Adams squawking into Red Bull Arena. I want to call it Sports Illustrated Stadium, of course. But like that's the obvious one that like I'm just really excited for that moment and kind of seeing him come back in there and just makes me feel happy.
Yeah,
he's also from Hopewell Junction, New York, which is 10 minutes from my hometown of Millbrook, so I always feel very connected to him.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Love that. What about Sebastian Berhalter?
Got it.
He's been a good partner for Adams.
Here for that.
Do we feel like Pochettino is going to go that direction?
I don't. It all leaves me kind of cold, to be honest with you. Like I wish Weston McKennie was here. I wish Yunus Musa was here. I wish Christian Roldan was here. Like I've been all over Blue Sky talking about how he has been the best central midfielder in MLS this season. He has been absolutely remarkable. And the thing about him is he's doing it while playing as more of a true number 6. Yeah. And what would have been interesting with Roldan in there is, first of all, his ability to hit a long ball. Like he creates more value with his ability to switch the field of play and to tilt the field than any other central midfielder in MLS. But also, you could release Tyler to be a pressing 8 if you had Roldan back there in a double pivot. And I think Tyler Adams, as good a shield as he is, he's a better destroyer. Like we saw in, I don't remember who it was against. It was like the second week they won 1-0, and it was a goal he created just by, like, he does those kamikaze runs against opposing build-outs and creates turnovers where almost nobody else in the world does. So I just wish Christian Roldan were here to play that role and to allow Tyler to sort of spread his wings against the ball. And I'm not sure that the personnel involved can do that. But maybe that's why Sean Zawadzki's here. Like, Sean Zawadzki's he's a good player. He reads the game really well. I just have questions as to whether or not he's the guy who could really push his way into the discussion in the final 10 months before not even 8 months before the World Cup.
Of the midfield, okay, so in the midfield pool, we've got Tyler Adams, Sebastian.
So we've landed on Tyler Adams,
Luca De La Torre, Diego Luna, Jack McGlynn, and Sean Zawadzki. So of those, like, who realistically do we think has a chance of making the World Cup roster? Obviously, Tyler.
Yeah.
Tyler's written in pen.
Berhalter has a chance. Like I would like him more in this role than Zawadzki, but like again, I think to Doyle's point, like a lot of the people who we'll be talking about in this role aren't on the roster right now, which is, I feel like we've been saying this every goddamn window for the last 7 windows. Like I'm sorry, I feel like I'm running out of steam on this just because the amount of times I've been like, oh no,
to our best team.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be cool. And it's like, oh wow, I feel like I've said that before. It's like, yeah, I have. Last window too.
So I think Tyler's a lock. I think Luna and McGlynn are like in a different pool here because we're talking about attacking midfielders with them. Yeah. And then it's like, okay, De La Torre, he's got a real chance. Berhalter's got a real chance. Zawadzki's got a real chance. They have to start taking it this weekend. They have to show in these games that they're going to be real factors for Poch to consider. Hopefully a couple of them do.
And obviously it's going to be a big test for Josh Sargent up top, because I feel like that's the one that we're all kind of like looking at and probably hoping that it produces some kind of results, because I think that number 9 position, also Balogun is now included in this. So what are we? I mean, if we had to pick right now in form, I think like Josh Sargent is he has to be the obvious choice. The guy can't stop scoring goals at Norwich right now. So how does that translate to the U.S. men's national team? How do we finally establish like this is our number 9?
I don't think that we will before the World Cup. So I hope
cool.
that Sargent and Balogun each get a start here. Again, like Sargent has battled injuries in the past, and you think about even at the Copa America, I thought he was coming into that to be the starter, and then he had to fight real hard to rehab to be able to even be on the squad. So that could have been the moment where maybe we had an answer. But again, I think either way, like, I don't know what would have to happen for either Sargent or Balogun to be like, okay, this is the guy, because Ricardo Pepi isn't here, and Ricardo Pepi will play part in this.
Yeah, it's just so hard. That's why I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated that we don't have our best players, because this is the time when we have to really see what's going to work for 2026.
I would agree.
And so it's hard to say like, oh yeah, like Josh Sargent or Balogun is going to establish themselves as our number 9, because the pieces around them are going to be changing and it's different. And so what works best together, and at what point are we going to see that?
Can I ask one question?
Yes, Jill.
It's not about the strikers. Because if I have to talk about USMNT and strikers, it's a downward spiral.
Yeah.
My question is for Doyle, because I'm sitting here just thinking about it, and it's like, is there now no chance, do you think, for Christian Roldan to be called up? Is that door closed after, making the squad for Qatar? And it's just sad. Like, if he bowled out of the Club World Cup, and now, like, this has been his summer, he captains the team at a Leagues Cup against Messi. It's like, obviously the roster was announced prior to this weekend, but, like, is the door shut for Christian Roldan? Because that's bumming me out.
If it's not entirely shut, it's almost there.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, it bums me out too.
It's
and
pulling
like,
at my little MLS heartstrings today.
I mean, honestly, it's pulling at my USMNT heartstrings because he was so good against Botafogo and Atletico Madrid and PSG. And then you saw what he did against Cruz Azul, and you saw what he did throughout the rest of the league. And like, if you can do it against those teams, you can help the national team. And he's finally now playing his best position in the number 6. And we have literally never seen him play that spot for the national team. And it would have been nice, but it seems like the book is just about shut.
Where was Poch in June? Was that man on vacation during club? Wasn't he like at the Club World Cup games? Like, come on.
I think he was. I'm pretty sure he was.
I feel like there were like
I feel
a
like he
lot
made
of
some
pictures.
cameos.
Yeah, him hanging out.
Oh,
Anyway,
Poch.
I don't mean to get us off on some tangent, but I'm just sitting here and it's aggravating.
Before we put a pin in our U.S. men's national team conversation, I want us to all give one wish. One wish. Our U.S. men's national team, one wish for these upcoming friendlies. Jill, I'll let you go first.
Mine is for Christian Pulisic and Timothy Weah to issue an apology for being so soft to the media in saying that they were trying to collect checks and evil. That is my wish in this.
I love that. That is a tremendous wish, and I too hope that comes true. Tom, what is your one wish?
I hope we see 180 minutes of Pulisic being really, really good. I think that'll put a lot of this to bed.
I love that. That was very definitive as well. Doyle.
I'll wish for either Sargent or Balogun, I don't care which, to score a hat trick and to look like the answer to that number 9 debate we were just having. One of these two guys. I do not care which one.
100%. That was mine as well. But I actually want it to be Sargent because I love him. And I would like him to score. I'd like him to end that 6-year scoreless drought for the U.S. That is my wish.
I hope that I fear that this is going to look a whole lot more like the Turkey and Switzerland friendlies than anything else.
Tom,
so
don't
maybe I should be a little bit more realistic. I hope that they score.
If it does,
you can't
wait
put
a minute.
that out in the
dark
universe.
today.
If it does is there a chance that U.S. soccer feels like they have to make a decision?
Well, don't they? Didn't they? Who contributed to this contract? Because don't they have to run it by more people now?
Right. No, there's that billionaire. What's his face?
The guy Nick Offerman played him in a Netflix movie. That's all I can remember.
Yeah.
Wow, this took a turn.
It did take a turn.
Committee.
It did take a turn.
I'm scared.
We're about to take another turn on the Jersey Turnpike because it is time to hit on our 50 states of soccer, and we're looking at New Jersey. Tom Bogert. So we've been traveling all over the country. Last week was Idaho. We've done North Carolina, we've done Texas, we've done Wisconsin, and now it's New Jersey. And this one, I mean, talk about like, I don't even want to say like soccer, like royalty, but like New Jersey's soccer culture is just like, dripping.
Yeah.
Dripping.
Look, so we do the 5-a-side team here, and you could make 4. The 4th New Jersey 5-a-side team, I think, would compete with a lot of other states.
It's actually impossible to do a 5-a-side for New Jersey when you look at the names. Like, I was like, because you have to, and also take into account the women's game as well. So it's women and men's. Like,
this is one of the states where we should have one of each, because I'm gonna feel bad leaving a handful of people off. Like, again, just a few off the top, like Tab Ramos, like Carly Lloyd, Heather O'Reilly, Tobin Heath, Christy Pierce, Tim Howard, Tony Miola, John Harkes, Claudio Reyna. That's like, what, 8 right there? Like 8 or 9 right there. And that doesn't include, Giuseppe Rossi, Matt Miazga, Greg Berhalter, Peter Vermees, Matt Turner, like Aleko Eskandarian. Go on down the list. And the guys that are in their career now, Brian White, John Tolkien. Like, it's so many.
It's crazy. What is it? Why Jersey? Why has this become a soccer mecca? Like,
a lot of history going back to Carney and all. Like, again, you talk about like Miola and Harkes and Tab, like that's where they all kind of grew up. Like, that area is just unbelievable for the history and the soccer culture there. You go around, like, again, playing in high school around here, there's just so many good players. Like, I played college soccer here. Like, I would even talk to people who played elsewhere in the country. It was like, oh my God, yeah, your conference is insane. There was one year, and like the conference is called the New Jersey Athletic Conference.
Not that Tom's bragging, but like
Just saying,
his conference.
there was a year.
His conference, guys, it was pretty
Just
insane.
let him
like
have
people,
this moment, Doyle.
people
There were multiple
all over
teams
the country
that
really
missed-
impressed with
that
Tom's
missed
Division
the
3
conference-
soccer conference.
There were multiple years where teams missed the conference tournament and still got an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. It's just unbelievable.
it's just so much talent. So we've got Jill, who's from
Riveting.
New York State. We've
Yeah, I'm a
got
little
Doyle,
anti-Jersey.
Who are you? Connecticut or are you
I'm
Pennsylvania?
Connecticut. Yeah,
Connecticut. Okay,
Mhm.
so these are like arguably
5 Pat Agimans. So
arguably
4 Pat Agimans and a Christine Lilly. How about that?
4 big Pats. I love that.
But these are kind of like 2 like rival states, if you will, of New Jersey. Like, are
Connecticut is not a rival of
anybody.
anybody in any sport.
Wah, wah.
We're a rest stop. No, there's nothing good coming out of Connecticut other than the pizza. That's
I'm
it.
hating on Bogert from like a state-to-state rivalry perspective, born and raised in New York, but this list is effing
It's
incredible.
so
It is
stupid. It's,
so
like,
solid.
stupid.
It's awesome. I'm so here for it. It's fantastic. And I just want to shout out Kickback Committee, guys. This 50 states segment, because I'm like, Suze, I'm like a little bit of like a history nerd, like a news nerd. It blows my mind. The one on Idaho, I literally was like, I gotta go to Idaho. So you guys are doing you're doing the Lord's work here from a soccer perspective. So just thank you for this 50 states. I really
welcome.
love it.
You're welcome. Yeah,
I
it
just wanted
has
to put
been.
that out there.
It has
Thank
been
you.
an education for sure. Like, I love finding out these little tidbits about these places that I have no clue about, and sort of the soccer history that exists there. It's
thank
been
you.
fascinating. But I would argue that Jersey is probably like the most, like, I don't want to say important soccer state that we have. Can we say that?
It is
say that.
historically, yeah. Historically, it's New Jersey,
Celebrating.
New Jersey, and Missouri because of St. Louis, and then California.
Yes.
And the story is 120 years ago when soccer really started in the U.S. The 3 hotbeds were New Jersey and St. Louis, and then southern Massachusetts, like the border between Massachusetts and Rhode Island, and it was the Portuguese there, and it was just the whole melting pot in New Jersey, and then it was the Italians in St. Louis. And they, even as, the old ASL rose and fell and went bankrupt, and there was no professional soccer in the U.S. for a while, it was those 3 spots that really kept the flame burning. And then, come the start of MLS, really that 1990 World Cup, so before MLS, that team was like, a third of it was from New Jersey. Guys like Tab and Tony Miola, and then of course
Vermees, right?
Peter Vermees from South Jersey, which we all know is the better part of New Jersey.
Wait, yeah, I need the education, Tom, on like North Jersey, South Jersey, Central Jersey.
Central, thank you.
Like, I had like what's the dynamic between all of these?
Oh, don't try to drive a wedge between us here now. That's not happening. But no, it's because like there's so much of South Jersey that feels like a Philly suburb. So
Okay.
like the Aaronsons, by the way, didn't mention the Aaronsons.
Oh my God, the
Aaronsons are New
Aronson
Jersey
brothers.
kids.
That's right.
They're like in our notes in the rundown. like Carly Lloyd was further south, and in parentheses somebody wrote "Go Birds." That's how I look at a lot of like the Philly suburbs. And then, but again, obviously we're claiming them for New Jersey in this aspect. But the more local you go, the more I would call South Jersey, just Pennsylvania.
Okay. All right. Thank you for clarifying.
And what would you call Central Jersey?
My home.
Okay.
Home of Tom.
We know what the
of
worst part of
Tom.
New Jersey is, don't we?
Tom, I'm going to put you on the spot though.
Yeah.
Do you have like one favorite player from New Jersey? Like if you had to like immortalize just one, who would it be? Like they represent Jersey, soccer in New Jersey.
I know that there is a question here of, are we claiming Michael Bradley? As far as my family's concerned, we do. So Michael Bradley would be high on this list, but Tab Ramos, and obviously Miola, like, again, lucky to call those two guys friends. I can't split that, but like those, when you think of like the history of soccer in New Jersey and the importance of particularly those like 90s World Cup teams, like those are the two people I think of is Miola and Ramos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hard to argue with that one. Okay, another aspect of this 50 States of Soccer tour, we crowdsource. And we ask, like, what is the best soccer bar? What is the hallowed ground? What is the rival state? Like, legendary player of lore. So, Tom, with your vast knowledge of all things soccer in New Jersey, if I'm going to Jersey and I want to watch a match, let's say I'm going to watch a Liverpool match because you and I are both Liverpool fans. Where am I going? What's the bar?
Darcy's Tavern in Bradley Beach, New Jersey. It is one of my favorite places in the world, that little soccer bar. My dad plays for their soccer team, close with all those people, the bartender. Like it's a magical place, and there is no in my heart here. It's Darcy's is the absolute best. And again, you go down the Jersey Shore, it is well worth it. I don't think that I brought Doyle there. I'm gonna need to make that change in the future. In Hoboken, there's a bar called Mulligan's that is very, very good. Those are the two that are in my world, but Darcy's stands head and shoulders for me above everything else in the whole country, not just Jersey.
I'm gonna have to make it a point to get to Darcy's with you. And
how close is it to the beach?
It is
great question.
It's less, 3/4 of a mile. It's in a beach town.
I can do that.
Let's do it. Jill's in. Okay, what about hallowed ground? What is one of those seminal stadiums or just, fields that it's just iconic in the state of New Jersey when it comes to...
It's the courts in Kearney. It has to start with those courts in Kearney.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
That's hard to argue.
Again, to pick up games and men's leagues and stuff, like the stories I've heard out of there, unbelievable. Obviously, like when you go into like the real stadiums, like Giant Stadium, MetLife has hosted so many big games, even though it's not the most pleasant. The new one looks like a big air conditioner, but that's gotta be up there for hallowed ground. And again, I will say that, like, again, sticking on the professional side of things, like Red Bull Arena, that was built in 2010. That still holds up as one of the best stadiums in MLS, and there's been like 25 built since then.
Underrated.
I agree.
Very underrated.
If only it wasn't such a pain in the ass to get to.
Yeah.
My
Amen,
only
sister.
My only gripe, because I do love
You know what
that arena.
kills me every time I pull up there? Maybe it's been a minute. I think it's been like a year. Price and I've been that same. There's so much friggin' gravel. Like, come on. Stop with the gravel.
Jill
It's
needs
been
the
there too
road to
long
be
for
paved with
pebbles.
diamonds. Okay.
Can a girl, like, I just want some pavement and like
They
in
get
between
your shoes.
And you know what? In between the parking
uncomfortable.
spots, a couple trees, and then we're all good.
There's an empty warehouse near the stadium,
Too
or there has been.
many
That's just so very
pebbles.
Jersey. There's a
I
couple.
was just gonna say, but
I
isn't
like
that
the
Jersey?
warehouse.
That's what I'm saying.
okay.
And like there's a couple bridges that look like Tony Soprano would have visited in the day.
That's
So, and
fine.
I love that. Like that all feels good to me.
Hire a Tony Soprano to come do the paving job and put some pavement down and a couple trees, and we're good to go.
Jill wants some green. Damn it.
And no more pebbles.
Okay, so on that note, rival state, is it New York, or is it or Pennsylvania with Philadelphia? Like, where do we go here?
Somebody in the notes wrote itself ? That might be the most New Jersey thing. I can't beat those out. It's versus everybody. And again, Doyle's gonna correct me, make fun of me. I played ODP. I played for Team New Jersey. We hated fucking everybody. Like everybody hated us. Like that. I don't. And whether you call it New York or PA, hell, even Delaware, but that feels like a little sibling kind of thing.
Delaware.
But anybody we play was just like, yeah, screw you guys.
Okay, so everyone basically.
Yeah.
I think we've landed on fantastic. What about a player of lore, like one of those urban legend players from New Jersey, not the Tabs or the
Right.
Tonys,
This is
like,
tough. Like if you go back and look at like Tab Ramos is like, even as I think in high school he scored like hundreds of goals. Like again, obviously he became one of the greatest players in the U.S. national team history. But like those are some of the things. Like again, just anecdotally for me, like Tab's son Alex we were born in the same year. That dude, he ended up going pro, but he is currently an excellent soccer trainer. He has his own training facility. He's got like more than 1 million followers on Instagram, so he's awesome. But like training with him a little bit, because he was obviously far better than me, and like just seeing him do things, it was just like, oh my god, yeah, like that kid must be incredible, right? And like he was, and it just goes to show like how much talent there is everywhere. But that was a kid that anybody in this area, you knew of just because of everything, because of how good he was and family lineage and all that.
It wasn't Tom Bogert?
No.
I'm shocked. You're a men's
That'd be
league
a step too
champion
far.
after all. Like, like, come on now. Don't
No,
sell
you just
yourself
hear me
short.
yelling at people if you're by the field.
And people all over the country tell Tom all the time how impressed they are by his men's league. Like, wow, you guys are so good.
I'm super impressed by it. Don't let them take these ones out of your sails after all this hard work you've done.
Listen, I used to go watch Kalen Carr's men's league games on the Lower East Side, and
I'm
like
so jealous of
those
that.
were intense. Like it was no joke. It was literally no joke. Like dudes were getting all banged up, and I was like, "Is it worth it?" And Kalen's like, "I just love to compete," and I was like, "Okay, man."
That was after his seventh
you.
concussion, I think.
Literally, I was like, "Can we not? Can we just, do we need to bring back the helmet at the very least?"
Kaylin is mildly terrified of the stories that fly around of when I come off when I'm texting the guys after a game.
Oh, that sounds like a whole other podcast, and I'm going to workshop that here.
Let's do it.
Okay, last one. Best youth club in New Jersey. Is it one that you played for, Tom Bogert?
I did play for Tab Ramos' academy. That
Okay.
that has been under new ownership. That's a really strong one. I mean, look, it is the Red Bulls Academy, because that's where we are right now, and that's better. But like there are some more independently run academies, like PDA is the name of one that is always really, really good. And yeah, Cedar and New Jersey Soccer Academy is what it was called when I played, but now it's Cedar Stars. So those are the big three at the moment. But it is Red Bulls. Like if you want to go pro, you're going there.
Amazing. Well, we do happen to have a New Jersey expert in Tom Bogert on the show today, which was very helpful. But we also sourced this to all of you. We put out polls on Instagram and on Blue Sky. So if you're from Jersey, if you know a lot about Jersey, weigh in, and we will hit on that and put a pin in it at our happy hour on Thursday. But guys, that's a wrap. We did it. This was so much fun. I'm just buzzing. I'm buzzing. This was the best. I can't thank you guys enough for coming on the Kickback Committee and making my absolute day. It was a true pleasure. Did you have fun? Did everyone enjoy this?
You
That's
guys
all right.
are, I mean this when I say you are American soccer heritage. I'm not trying to be funny. And like, we need these voices, and we need this expertise, and we need this depth of knowledge. And I just feel, honestly, like happy to be here. Happy to be here today. So thank you guys. This was great.
It was amazing to
Oh, you're
have
the best,
you, Jill. I adore all of you, and I truly think these are some of the best damn soccer brains in the business. I feel lucky to call you colleagues. I feel lucky to call you friends, and that is as nice as I'm going to get. It's a little too happy shiny right now. But guys, make sure you check out upcoming episodes of Soccer Wise. Tom, you're going to be on Thursday. Goss is currently in the Badlands somewhere, or maybe he's flying back, but he is going
He's riding
to
a
be,
bison home.
He probably is, but that's coming out on Thursday. I think he's going to be on with Jordan Angeli to chat the women's game tomorrow on Soccer Wise. This episode of Committee is actually going to go out on Soccer Wise channels as well, because y'all weren't able to record earlier this week. So keep an eye out for that. Join us for our happy hour on Thursday for more U.S. men's national team banter and further discussion on the great state of New Jersey. That is at 5:30 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel live. Doyle and Jill, do you have things to promote? I mean, Jill, I know you're doing your full-time podcast, and Doyle, your amazing column that I read every single week for all things MLS. That's it?
Yeah, that's all I'm promoting.
That's all you got to promote?
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
I just got to promote that Susannah Collins for all the reasons you are the best, and thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, stop it. I love you. I love you so much, and this was so much fun. Guys, subscribe to our newsletters on kickbacksoccer.com. We've got our weekly one. We also have our World Cup edition that's going to get you set for everything 2026 leading up to the World Cup. And that is going to do it. Shouts to the call-up.
Felt good, didn't it?
Man,
What a podcast.
It really did. It really did. It really,
Also,
you know what?
who am I being so disrespectful to Rapids at one point in this show? And they are
I
the
literally- I
only
was like-
teams to give us custom jerseys.
It's true.
Colorado,
It's true.
you're so great no matter if you're good
Love
or
you,
bad.
Rapids. Up the Pids. Guys, have a fantastic week, and we will see you soon. Have a good one.